true to knowing that no one else knows. You know, I'm not saying I know, but that everyone's idea is as valuable as mine. You know, we're all creators. From the beginning, I never thought any of the things that I'm doing were possible or realistic. And I just did things out of the love of them, thinking I would have real jobs. And, you know, like the thing that my passion would be my hobby, and I'd have a job to support my hobby.
Yeah.
And it just magically turned out different than that without me knowing it was possible. The stars line up at certain times for certain things to happen, and they happen. And sometimes you can make something great and it doesn't connect for whatever reason. I found this out from making a lot of stuff. Like sometimes you make two things that you think are the two best things you ever made, and one of them connects with the world and one of them doesn't. And it might not have anything to do with what's in the art. It might have to do with, it came out the same day as this other thing came out, and that got in the way. Or there was a bigger story at the time, or there was some other, who knows? Or it's not it's not in the cards for that person to have that success. It's like there's so much to it that we don't understand.
Yeah.
All we can do is make something good and put it out and hope for the best. And that's all there is. We never know why does something work? Even if you make a piece of art, you might, and it works, you may not know why. It's like there are a lot of talented people who never make it because they don't have the work ethic to make it. It's not just talent. Like, talent's a piece.
Yeah.
And you could argue for some people, the work ethic.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? With Wix, you can.
Trumps the talent, you know? Having worked with a lot of bands, I see that there's often this friction where, and I'm sure you've seen it in a writing room for comedy, where people are trying to get their idea in.
Yeah.
That's not a collaboration.
No.
It's something else. A real collaboration is when everyone who's there is working together towards whatever is the best thing for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And whether it's your idea or someone else's idea, it doesn't matter. And if you're invested in the collaboration, you want the best idea to win. You don't want your idea to win.
Right.
What makes it great is the personal.
Yeah.
With all of its imperfections, with all of its quirkiness, that's what makes it great. How you see the world, that's different from how everyone else sees the world. That's why you're an artist. That's your purpose in sharing your work with the world.
And that seems to be the case with everything. With literature, it's definitely the case with stand-up comedy.
Everything.
But we experience that in stand-up comedy where there's these kind of derivative voices where they're kind of like finding what they think other people want to hear, and they start saying it because they've heard other people say similar things that are now successful. And
even if they have some sort of a short-term success doing that, it's not revolutionary. It doesn't change the world. It doesn't last. You know, it can be a momentary thing, but it's never the thing. It's the people who you first see and you might not like that you come to like because you don't understand them at first. Those are the ones that change the world.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that you dedicate your fandom to for life. You can't second guess your own taste for what someone else is going to like. It won't be good.
Right.
We're not smart enough to know what someone else is going to like. To make something. Well, I don't really like it, but I think this group of people like it. It's a bad way to play the game of music or art. You have to do what's personal to you. Take it as far as you could go. Really push the boundaries, and people will resonate with it if they're supposed to resonate with it. We really are talking about magic. We're talking about like the universe conspiring on our behalf if we let it, and to be in this flow of catching these waves that anyone can catch if you're trying to catch it, you're open to it, you see it coming, you take off on every chance you get, and sometimes the ride happens, and it's remarkable. It's remarkable how it happens. And it doesn't come from, it's not preconceived, it's not an idea, it's through the doing. These things that want to be, that the universe wants to happen now, comes through us. And if we don't do it, maybe someone else will do it. Have you ever had that experience where you have an idea for something and you don't do it, and then 6 months later you see that someone else has done it? It's not because they took your idea, it's that it's time for that. And you can act on it or not. And if you see, and the artists, the best artists are the ones who have the best antenna for this material that's available. It's coming through. The best comedians see the best jokes. They see them coming. We all live in the same world. The way you see it, you have the best joke because you see it best. And one of the reasons you can, I believe that you can see it best is because you don't believe what the structure around you assumes to be the case. So much of it has to do with humor. Like when it's good, it makes you laugh, even if it's not funny. You know, like the surprise nature of things. When you hear the unexpected, you laugh. And it feels good. It's a good feeling. Because what collaborating is about is we're always collaborating at all times with the universe. That's how it works. Like we're taking in information, we're vibing on it. In the past, when someone would recommend something to me, it sounded like it wasn't for me. It's like, oh, okay. Now, if more than one person recommends something to me that sounds bad, I always check it out. Because it's like the universe wants me to know about this. The way it tells me is a couple of people came up and said, why don't you check this out? That's, if we listen to what's going on around us, you can overhear a conversation in a coffee shop, and it is the setup for an idea that you're talking about, the right way to say a particular joke that you're working on. You hear a phrase. It's not a phrase you commonly use. You hear someone else say it. My experience is when you are open and looking for these clues in the world, they're happening all the time, and they're happening often right when you need them.
You've got the magic touch. It makes me glow so much.
We all are artists. The question is, are we a better artist today than we were yesterday? And are we doing everything we can to be the best artist we can be tomorrow? And we're all art. We may not all be Da Vinci, but are we better than we were? And can we continue to become better and better and better? And it's an ongoing, iterative process over the course of our lives. We often don't realize we're in control, but we're in control of our own lives, and we can make different choices. And if the things in our life are not bringing us joy and happiness, if our career that we've devoted all of our lives to isn't bringing us joy, we can change them. If we decide our relationship is not the right relationship, we don't have to suffer in that relationship. We can live in a way where we're living in an artful way, where we're engaged and paying attention and making each choice count, or we can live in a almost like sleepwalking through the day, which many of us do. Many of us do, just go along.
Yeah.
Just repeat yesterday again. And I suppose the principal argument of the book, although it didn't set out to be this way, is that the way we choose to live in the world impacts our ability to make more beautiful things. You know, one of the things I say in the book is the audience comes last. And the audience comes last, not because I don't care about them or I don't like the audience. In service to the audience, they have to come last. Yeah. The thing that the audience wants is the best thing they can get. If we're trying to make it for them, it won't be the best thing it can get. It'll water it down. The process of making something for someone else undermines it. If there's a group of people who are expecting a certain thing from you, and you no longer feel like that artist, you know, you've moved forward, and your concern is that the audience hasn't moved forward, it's a very uncomfortable. I'm not suggesting that you're capable of doing more than you can do, but whatever it is that you can do, if you've given all of yourself to it, you've done your best. Where could there be regret?
Art support.
The only advice I would have would be to not listen to anyone and to do what you love and to make things that you love, whatever it is. Make your favorite things. Be the audience. Make the thing for you the audience. It doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks. And if you have to get a job to support yourself so that you can make your art, that's fine. You can't make art for someone else. You can't make art with someone else in mind. I don't believe it can be good.
So what does success feel like? Are you grateful? Are you proud of the work you've done in the past? Or is there some engine of constant dissatisfaction, like self-criticism of I could have done better?
No, I'm pleased with the work that we did. Excited to keep working. It's fun. I don't know what else I would do with myself because I like making things. It's fun. I feel like it's my reason to be on the planet. So I just keep doing it.
I'm extremely self-critical. So you don't have that self-criticism, harsh, like this could have been better.
If it could have been better, I would keep working on it. It's like if it could be better, it's not done. Well, it's the best it can be. I've done everything I can to make it the best it can be. And that's all. I can't do more than that. So there's nothing to be critical of. I did my if you always give all of yourself and do your best, which you're capable of doing, I'm not suggesting that you're capable of doing more than you can do. But whatever it is that you can do, if you've given all of yourself to it, you've done your best, where could there be regret? It seems like music has the ability to bring us so much depth in our soul that's hard to access any other way. And without it, there would be a loss beyond the pleasure of it. Feels like it's a window into something else.
Something that no other medium can express quite the same way.
I would say not as automatically. Something about music can do it automatically. Maybe poetry or maybe certain abstract forms can get us there. But there's something about music that really can get us there quickly. It starts with this, again, coming in blank, like not having any preconceived ideas, being open and really listening and not thinking about what you're going to say next or what your opinion is, basically being a recorder and just hearing what comes in. And then once you hear what comes in, processing that information and trying our best to do that without any of the beliefs that we might have to impact what that is. Mm-hmm. If I ask you a question, I don't want to listen to you and have any reaction happening when you're speaking. I want to be as neutral as possible. For me, my goal is not to form an opinion, it's to understand. So if anything, I would draw you out further and just ask questions to really understand, or if you say something that somehow triggers me in a way that I wouldn't challenge you, I would ask, like, oh, how did you find that? How did you get to that place?
From a place of curiosity, you would try to figure out.
Yeah, I want to understand who the person is. And through questioning, we can usually get there, or through just spending time together, you find out who the person is. It's one of the main jobs. My jobs as a record producer is to keep the voices away from the artist, from all of the people who are really on their side but don't know. You know, like the whether it be people, anyone on the business side who doesn't make things. They're excited to do their part. You know, they're excited when you deliver the thing, the art that you make to me, then we can start the project. But there's nothing to sell if the art doesn't happen in the right way, and it has to be protected, and it can't happen on the same kind of a timetable that business can. It's just a different thing. Art doesn't come in a quarterly way. The other side of it is, in success, there can be a lack of reality, where all of the people around the successful person just tell them everything they do is great. And then they don't have anything to bump up against anymore, or have a realistic sense of how things work, or how things measure, you know? So both sides are really important, both avoiding the voices getting in the way and having a trusted group of, you know, a sangha, a group of people who can say, you know, I don't know if that's as good. And you can still, you know, say, I don't care what you think, that's fine. But it helps to hear it. You know, it helps to have, if someone who you respect tells you something isn't good enough, it's helpful.
When you know it comes from a place of love, when it comes from a place of wisdom.
100%. And not from a place of fear, not from a place of, oh, this doesn't sound like it's going to do as well as your last thing. That's not the point. The point is, on this quest for greatness, are you living up to your ability? You know, I believe we're vehicles for information that when it's ready to come through, it comes through. And the people who have good antennas pick up the signal. But if I'm sure you've had an experience in your life where you've had an idea for something and you've not acted on it, and eventually someone else does it. And it's not because they're doing it because you had the idea and they stole your idea. It's because the time has come for that idea. And if you don't do it, someone else is going to do it.
It's being broadcast by whatever the source is.
Whatever the source is. I think we all have our own antenna for whatever it is that we, you know, maybe not everyone has tuned into their antenna to see what it is that their strength in bringing through is. I'm lucky in that it found me because I didn't know that I didn't even know this was a job.
A lot of the job also is the it's like setting up an expectation that we really can make a great Black Sabbath record that stands alongside their best work. I can remember.
Now that I use Monday service, AI.
You mentioned anxiety before. Imagine how effective you'd be if you weren't anxious all the time. Is one of yours, and anxiety is the emotion du jour of the 21st century, and lots of driven people, very anxious, very paranoid. That's what's caused them to be affected. They pay so much attention, detail-oriented, not letting things go, staying up at night, thinking about it. That's the paranoia coming in. What have you come to learn about anxiety and dealing with it?
So anxiety and stress are interesting. They're very related. Stress is when, like if you look at an iron beam, when an iron beam is under stress, it's because it's being bent in two different directions at the same time. So when your mind is under stress, it's because it has two conflicting desires at once. So for example, you know, you want to be liked, but you want to do something selfish and you can't reconcile the two. And so you're under stress. You want to do something for somebody else. You want to do something for yourself, right? These are you don't want to go to work, but you want to make money. So you're under stress, right? So you have two conflicting desires. And I think one of the ways to get through stress is to acknowledge that, oh, I actually have two conflicting desires. And either I need to resolve it, I need to pick one and then be okay losing the other, or I will decide later. But at least just being aware of why you're stressed can help alleviate a lot of stress. And then anxiety, I think, is sort of this pervasive, unidentifiable stress where you're just kind of stressed out all the time and you're not even sure why. And you can't even identify the underlying problem. And I think the reason for that is because you have so many unresolved problems, unresolved stress points that have piled up in your life that you can no longer identify what the problems are. And there's this mountain of garbage. in your mind, and it's a little bit of it poking out the top like an iceberg, and that's anxiety. But underneath, there's a lot of unresolved things, and so you just need to kind of go through very carefully every time you're anxious. Like, okay, why am I anxious this time? I don't know why. Oh, well, let me sit here and just think about it. Let me write down what the possible causes could be. Let me meditate on it. Let me journal. Let me talk to a therapist. Let me talk to my friends. Let me just kind of see, like, when does that stress go away? If you can kind of identify.
Imagine being able to build anything, for any reason, in any style.
I think about the gap from where people are in a place that there is a period in everybody's journey where they are so different because they've started to do new things that they no longer fit in with their old set of friends, but they're not sufficiently developed that they've gained their new set of friends, and they're unsure. Should I go back? Should I lean back into getting a bag in with the boys on a weekend? Is that the highest, way that I can live my life passion forward? Because that's what everybody else does. And all of my friends are taking the piss. Oh, not drinking again. Too good for us, are we? Not going out again this week. Oh, okay. Well, enjoy staying in home and reading, fucking nerd. So you're going to feel the pain of being ostracized from the group of friends that you used to have. But you're stuck in this messy middle where you haven't yet worked out who you are on the other side of this. And that lonely chapter that's in the middle is something that I would say almost nobody that I've ever met who has gone from a place where they are to a place where they want to be hasn't gone through.
There's 1,000 ways to say this, but listen, because I'm only going to say it once. I fought for it because no one gave it to me, because it was just me alone in the gym, me alone in the mirror, me alone in my head. No one did it for me. I worked for it, and I'm never going to let someone else take that from me.
People want to know how I'm always motivated. It's the unseen work. I'm out running at 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, in the gym, long sessions by myself. How I'm able to just extract dopamine, the good dopamine whenever I want. Man, I've trained 99% of my life alone. No one pat me on the back. I did all of the work alone. And while I'm still hard on myself, I know what I did. So whenever times get bad for people, all this, who's gonna carry the boats and love? That's real. I hate that people know me for that guy, because that guy is not every fucking day. Like, when they see me, they want that energy. That's not me every day. I can extract it immediately when I need to, because when you train alone, and I lived alone for so many years in this misery, and you're able to get out by yourself, I can take myself to such a level of real passion and purpose. And the feeling I get is something I can't even explain by myself. I don't need anyone. That's why people come to me to motivate them. No one can motivate me. I have a resume full of fucking motivation that whenever I'm down, I'm like, oh, hang on, motherfucker. Oh, you know the truth. You know the truth. You know the darkness of the fucking dungeons and the fucking demons that fly. You know. And then from there, it's like, okay, you were there. You know this. There was no one there to pick up the rucksack, to pick up the boat, to pick up the log, to go in there. It was you. It was you. There was no pat on the fucking back at 300, at 275, at 250, at 220. No, that was you. So those things that come out of me, that extract from me in the darkness, people are looking for that pat on the back. Where is it? Oh, I don't need it. Because what I've done is, in the fucking unseen work, I built Frankenstein. So whenever shit gets nasty, David Goggins goes, you had nobody anyway, motherfucker. So see how I'm talking myself right now? That's me. That shit fires me the fuck up. That shit makes me fucking nuts. You had nobody anyway, motherfucker. Look around you. There was no fucking team. It was you. There was no weight loss program or mom and dad waking you up saying you can do it, you can be better, trying to build belief. You built belief when you had nothing. Rock bottom. You did that. So as times get hard for me,
to get started in data analytics, you don't need previous experience or a degree. The Google Data Analytics Certificate will teach you to code in R, to code in SQL, data visualization, and learning how to problem solve like an analyst would. At the end of the day, being a data analyst is about communication. It's the #1 soft skill that you'll pick up. And so learning how to take the information.
The truth comes out. And my truth is powerful as fuck. It's real. It's tangible. I feel it. It comes out of my brain as I speak about it. I'm reliving every single dark moment of my life.
There's times where you can go without your friends, you can go without going out, you can go without other people around you. You have to separate yourself from the pack. You have to be willing to spend time with yourself. You have to be willing to start cutting things out of your nutritional program. Eat healthy. You know, get enough rest, get enough sleep. All of these things come into play of finding your purpose. And it's almost sacrificing. You have to sacrifice. Greater the sacrifice, greater the reward. This is so true. And when you do these things, you'll start seeing that, okay, well, I used to do this. And when you go out and you don't do it anymore, it's very, very clear that you've made the right decision, because your friends will still be doing that. And you'll find yourself that you don't fit in with that crowd anymore. You just don't fit in. I got something to do. You know, you'll start getting away from people that are negative. You only want to be around positive. You'll start like not wasting your time on things that aren't productive, and you will start taking your time and energy and putting it into things that you enjoy doing that are productive for yourself.
This isn't for the masses. This is for those who want to leave normal behind. Those who are in search of a new realm. It's a lonely journey. You're isolated. Those who used to keep pace with you will fall off. They'll see where their world ends and yours begins. Your ability to suffer, endure, outwork must be greater. You must be willing to extend yourself to the limit with no guarantee of success. Every day, you must ask yourself, did I do enough?
Every single person who wants to do something with their life and has done something with their life has gone through the exact chapter that you're going through. And it's the lonely chapter. It's the chapter where you don't fit in with your own friends, but you don't have the outcomes yet to fit into a new group of friends. And you're doing this thing, you're consuming content on the internet, you're doing these free tutorials online to try and figure out how to set up a podcast and where do I host this thing? And then and you're going through this and you're like, is this even worth it? Because you have no signs of success, right? But if there's anything that you can take away from what we're saying right now, is that the sign of success is the hate that you get along the way. And what you can't do is bend the knee to their hate and fit back into the conformity because it's comfortable and it's warm. Because like in the Matrix, when Trinity opens the door, when Neo's about to go take the red pill and he wants to get out of the car, she says, Neo, you've been down that road and you know exactly where it leads. And I know that's not where you want to be. And then he closes the door. Like right now, this moment that you're going through is Trinity opening the door and being like, you could go back, but then you'd have to remember exactly what the reason was that you decided not to go out to begin with, just because you listen to this podcast and you consume this content, you're like, I can fucking do more than this. Like, because you are starting to live in some of that hell where you look in the mirror and you're like, I can do more. And you start to see the person that you could be. And you're like, this does start to feel like hell.
Everybody's asleep, man, or they're just getting home after a long night. You know, going out there partying. It's Friday night. It's close to 3 in the morning right now. You know, the thing is, man, it's always going to be a party. There's always going to be a time to celebrate, and there's a time to join friends, or a day to, I mean, the bars are always open. Always open. No matter how old you are, they're always open, you know? What's not always open is the opportunity to check the box in life. You know, to achieve your dreams. That's not always open, man. And it's funny, it's like, you know, I'm not saying you do it all the time and everything else, because everyone needs release in life. But it's funny when you're coming here and you're closing the gym up, and there's no one in the parking lot except for my car. And everyone else probably getting home from some party right now, because bars are closed right now too. You know, they're probably going to sleep, and they're probably going to have to wake up and apologize to somebody for however way they acted, because that's not who they really are. They're chemically induced to be a certain way, to have the social lubricants, or to be able to talk, to be liked, and so they take something in order to be that guy, just like people that do steroids, whatever else. I have to take this to be all that, you know, but who I am as an individual isn't quite good enough. That's why I need to take something and become somebody else. You know, it's a sad reality. Coming here at night and You know, I don't know what it is about it, man. But like, man, it's just the air smells a little bit better right now. You know, when you say you're gonna do something and then you follow through and you do it. Not at the end when you cross the marathon, you finish it, or your hands raised. I'm talking about right now. The small steps in between the big successes that everyone sees. No one sees this. Right now, I'm saying, like, there's a confidence to it, man. There's a bad motherfucker that's right here, you know, that's getting ahead of the competition. There's an overwhelming sense of fulfillment and pride and satisfaction with that. You know, I didn't have to shoot up anything. I didn't have to drink anything. I didn't have to go party anything. All I had to do was just go work out. And now what's going to happen is a residual effect of that. Not only does my body grow, but my belief in whatever my current endeavors are, they seem closer. They seem like, you know, I can reach out and grab them now. And you don't get that sense of confidence by going through society's rhyme the reasons. You know, you do your own thing, you know, especially when everyone else isn't doing it and they call you crazy or whatever else. Oh, you're in here and people driving by being like, what the fuck's that guy doing up so late?
Congratulations, you're our new department.
Small details in the end of the day will make the big difference.
I think balance is very important to happiness. And I think you can become incredibly obsessed on one goal. Your life could be a wreck outside of that one goal. It's a balancing act. It's a balancing act between family and friends and hobbies and rest and nutrition and passions and discipline and grinding and brutal workouts and recovery from those brutal workouts. It's a big, gigantic mandala. It really comes down to what are you trying to accomplish and what makes you happy. And for me, if one part of my life is awesome, but the rest of it is a wreck, I'm not happy. So I'm only happy if I've got like a good big picture going on, if I'm doing this balancing act and everything seems to be maintained. If it goes a little bit like this, then I can bring it back like this. And I'm constantly in this state of adjustment.
What's your morning routine like? Or do you have a morning routine that you like, or do you just kind of...
Fasted cardio.
Good to treat other people the way you would like to be treated yourself. It's like a...
Is there advice you can give to young kids that are living through a shitty situation of any sort, a tough life?
Find a thing you like. Try to find a thing that you really enjoy. Try to find a thing that you're passionate about.
Like an activity?
Yes. For me, early on, it was drawing. It was illustrations. It was comic books. I wanted to be a comic book illustrator. And then it went from comic book drawing and illustrations to martial arts. So, but it was just another thing that I was very, very passionate about. That was my vehicle out of my dilemma. That was my vehicle out of my own anxiety and trauma and my own issues and insecurities. And find something. Find a thing that you genuinely enjoy, because getting good at things you genuinely enjoy is extremely beneficial for young people, because it lets you know that, like, everybody thinks they're a loser. Every young person thinks they're a loser, at least a young person in the situation I was at. I didn't know I wasn't a loser until I started winning, until I started doing martial arts. Martial arts taught me that, like, I could get better at stuff, that I wasn't really a loser. I just was someone who was, like, in a fucked up situation. But you could channel all that energy that you have as a young person into something and get better at it. And then all of a sudden people admired me. I was like, this is crazy. So I went from being someone who was incredibly insecure and basically a failure to someone who was really successful at this one thing that was very dangerous, that other people were scared of. And that gave me immense confidence and also a real understanding of the direct correlation between hard work and success.
Living with Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis often means spending hours at
and also an understanding that you can't listen to people. Because even my parents didn't want me to do martial arts. They didn't want me to fight. They didn't want me to do stand-up. There's like, you have to understand who you are, and then in the face of other people's either criticism or lack of faith in your ability to succeed, you push through, and there's great benefit in that. And then you realize that you can kind of apply that to other things in life. You can apply that to critics, you can apply that to social media commentators, you can apply that to a lot of things. And I don't think people are happy if they don't have puzzles and complex tasks and things that are interesting to them, whether it's an art project or whether it's learning something completely new like stand-up comedy. Like, doing things that are difficult is it's as much of a nourishment of the mind as food is a nourishment of the body. I think you need things that are puzzling to you, where you have to find your own human potential in the difficulty of the task and work your way through things. At least for me, and in my life, that has been 100% constant. I am a very happy person, and I have never had a moment where I'm not doing difficult shit. Give yourself an arduous, difficult task where you're challenged mentally and challenged physically. One of the great things about being challenged physically is it's also mental. The people that don't understand that have never really been challenged physically. People that think that physical challenges are just physical, it's just brute grunt work. It's not. It's emotional intelligence. It's understanding your desire to quit and conquering your inner bitch. All that stuff it's mental. It's playing out inside your head, and there's a mental strength that you acquire from that you can apply to intellectual pursuits. And the people that don't think that are the people that haven't attempted them. And there's an arrogance to people that only pursue intellectual exercises, only pursue intellectual things, and don't pursue anything physical. That the physical stuff is base, it's grunt work, it's primal, it's not necessary. I don't think that's accurate. For most people, I think you can really benefit from physical struggle, and you benefit from it in a mental way. And I think that is overlooked. That's unfortunately overlooked by academics and intellectuals. Find some difficult shit to do, because that gets away a lot of the anxiety that you carry around in your body. A lot of difficult things make regular life less difficult. And that sounds so simplistic, but particularly physically difficult things. Because when you do things that are physically difficult, the strain of making yourself do those things, it's very valuable. It's not just valuable like exercise and fitness and martial arts and running and whatever you're doing that's really difficult. It's not just valuable in terms of like health and the way you look, but it's also valuable for your mind, maybe even more so. Because regular life can be confusing, and little things that go wrong and little problems that arise are exacerbated by the fact that you're not accustomed to dealing with hardship. So creating your own bullshit, whether it's through some brutal kettlebell exercise or running up hills or something, is extremely valuable for you also, not just accepting the nuanced perspectives of other people, but also being able to navigate through this world with some sort of an understanding of just how complex it all is and how weird it all is, and not be overly thrown off by every little dip in the road and pothole that you encounter. That's the real message. The real message is we all started from nowhere. I mean, we all had bullshit jobs. We all felt like losers. But through time and effort, you build a stronger human. You build a stronger body. You build a stronger mind. You build accomplishments and will and momentum. And then you look back and you go, hey man, I'm not washing tables anymore. You know, I'm not washing dishes. I'm not cutting lawns. I'm not digging ditches.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a different person now, but I used to be.
And these desire not to be that, but not to stay in it. That's what.
That's the hardest part, right? Is to get out of that rut. When you ain't got shit and there's nothing going on, to have faith then is so difficult. To have faith when you're successful, it's like, yeah, listen, you've been successful for a while. Of course you got faith.
Yeah,
just keep doing what you're doing.
Easy.
It's like you already got up the hill. Now you're just coasting. You know, you're just rolling down the hill. Everything's great. The hard part is getting up that fucking hill. especially if you got a dad you're hiding from, especially if you feel like you're a loser or you never really had anything in your life that you could look back on and say, hey, I was really good at that. You know, and there's a lot of people out there listening to this. There's so many people that are in that starting point. Like the people that come up to you and say, I don't know what to do. What should I do? How do I do it?
Yeah.
How do I get going? But you're gonna have to figure it out, one foot in front of the other. You're gonna have to find a thing and keep working at it and get better at it. That's one of the things that I like so much about martial arts. They let anybody in, and then from learning how to do that, you get better, and then you realize, damn, I can get better at anything.
The desire to get better.
Yeah, that's for everybody. Just find a thing.
Everything.
And if you find a thing, like particularly martial arts, because you get belts and ranks, and then you can see how you're doing with opponents. But if you could just find a thing and work hard at that thing, you'll realize through that thing that you can get good at anything with time and effort. Pick a thing, pick a thing. Whatever the thing calls to you, whatever calls to you.